Hey y'all, welcome to Spiritual Ranch out here. My name's Shesho Shesh.no and I am the Off-Grid Oracle. So this morning here, on this beautiful day out here, I'm throwing out some coins, right? And so this coin right here, that's God. That's Most High, you know. That's Divine Spirit. On the other side, it's Divine Feminine. But when it's on this side with the eagle, that's Divine Spirit. You know, right there, that eagle. It's a $1. You know, it's a silver dollar right there. And so right next to it is this coin here that says freedom. That's the freedom coin. You know, and so we all know that God Most High defends and represents freedom. That's what it's all about with God Most High, you know. And so this coin right here, this is my fire coin. It represents fire. Coming out next to the moon here with this coin that is it's my conspiracy coin on this side. It's the mind control, the psyop that they come after you with after the tower, you know, after the tower moment. And so there's been a tower moment, but now they're utilizing the trauma from that tower moment to raise these false flags and to get into your head, you know, to alter the way that we think, that you think, that we think, you know, the group think of the masses, you know, of the massive. And so the this coin right here is fantasy in the flesh. It says heads, you win, okay? And on the other side, it says tails, you lose, I believe, you know. And so on the heads, you win side, that means, since it's fantasy in the flesh, that the psyop after this tower moment that these individuals are using against you have to do with your intellect. They're fucking with your head, you know. But they're using tactics that are underhanded, you know. They're working on your shadow to convince you of the things that they want you to believe in. So that this tower moment that they are now using as a psyop in your head, they're trying to change you. You know, they're trying to manipulate you and alter you into the kind of person, the kind of citizen, the kind of individual that they want you to be. It's mind control. They're using mind control. To do this mind control, though, they're exploiting your weaknesses, your lusts, you know, your sexual desires, your addictions, your alcoholism, your greed, your selfishness. They're using these things against you intellectually. And that's how they accomplish their towers. And that's how they further their cause to control the world. That's what they're trying to do. They've had the U.S., because see right here, this is the USA coin. Okay? And the USA coin on this side here, see a USA small, and they have the flag there, but they have that, it's a hockey player. It says hockey. Because they've had the USA out there, like they're the star team, you know. They've had us propped up. See this compass? The north is pointing towards me. And so they're propped up here on the west. They're propped up out in the west, right? With this coin here, which has an eagle. It's a 20 peso piece. But it's got an eagle on it, and it's my air coin because I don't have an air coin that has a hole in it. I just have the one with that eagle on it. So that represents my air. And so the seashell over here on its side, that represents turbulence. That represents rough waters. That represents trouble. That represents, you know, rough seas. Like you don't want to go out on rough seas, you know. And so that means that the U.S. right now, the air is their intellect. So intellectually, we're being attacked by these groups. So that as they've had us propped up, they're also at the same time now they're going to destroy us. That's why this bullet right here, that's a spent bullet, right? And that bullet represents, it's like the 10 of swords, you know? So that there's something coming out of the east, right? That's trying to take America down. It's trying to take us off from this propped up position that we've been in because they don't agree with our intellectual way of doing business. We don't see eye to eye intellectually with the individuals who are trying to take us down, or they don't want us to intellectually see ourselves as we are in the light that we shine, you know? And that's why they're trying to manipulate us over here and get us caught in our heads about negativity, about are passions that bring us darkness, that don't bring us into the light, you know? And so the reason for that is because this Coke bottle here represents the propaganda machine, the advertising machine, the lies, the deceit, and the toxicity that's being sold by the American way, by the way of the West. You know, we've overtaken the world with our by creating consumers out of the world of the goods that we sell, but the goods that we sell are toxic, and that's also coming to the light that our actions and our behaviors in the world are the same. They're deceiving, you know, and so we might present ourselves as a bottle of Coca-Cola like it used to be with cocaine in it, but it's not. It's just filled with diabetes. It's just filled with hatred. It's just filled with urges. It's just filled with lust. It's filled with desire. It's filled with insatiable urges. You know, it's filled with leading you to just wanting more as the product gets less and less and less quality. You know, and so we've ran the world with this shit. This bottle right here represents drugs, germs, steel, and guns, you know? That's what it represents. And then right here, this coin is by Earth Angel Feminine coin, you know? Because on the other side, it's Sacagawea. It's a picture of Sacagawea. And this coin here is by Earth coin. And this coin here is by Lies. This coin is, somebody's got a big hole in their story. That's what that coin means. That there's a big hole in this story here. So somebody's lying to you, you know? And it is a, it says, only loaned for amusement. Yeah, see? So everything, they sold us on these concepts, you know, that we should only worry about the our amusement, you know, being amused, pleasing ourselves with things that don't necessarily give us fulfillment or are God's purpose, you know. And so the things that we're chasing after, the things that this earth is providing, that this world provides to us over here, you know, with that Coke bottle, they got a big hole in that story. And Divine Feminine is coming out on this side here with her wings spread, because she sees this and she's soaring above this, you know. She soars way above this. We got all the elements are on the table. We got water, we got air, we got water here, we got fire here, we got earth here. And so that's what's happening right here, you know. And so I gotta go get a charger. My phone's gonna die. But yeah, you know, these things keep coming out with them coins. The coins, they're war coins, I guess, man. They're speaking up about a lot of the nonsense, you know, like they keep coming out hard on that. You know, they want to talk to us right now because we got crazy stuff going on in our world that it's truly happening around us, man. They're stealing our all the goodness that we should be standing for, you know, and they're trying to create something out of it that is gives them total power and control over all people in this world in a way that the whole world becomes a dictatorship, you know, and it's ruled by this one world government. And that's the goal. That's their goal here. And so they're doing that by with using poison, you know. They're poisoning our minds and they're poisoning our souls and convincing us that we should poison each other with this shit, you know. And so like if we don't stand up now, we may not have a chance to stand up later, you know. And that's what the Divine Feminine is here, or the feminine Earth Angel energy, or the Divine Feminine, however you may want to call it. That's what the Divine Feminine is doing here right now, is trying to communicate to everybody, look, things ain't right. She's trying to tell everybody, look at there, because she's up above, you know, she's above it all. God's got her set aside, and God's got her flying like an angel, you know, so that she can look above and see what's going on, because everybody else has got their heads down and they're not really paying attention, you know, and so they don't want to believe that the evil that's in this world today, the wickedness that is in this world today, they don't want to believe it's true, because it's kind of hard to believe it's true. It took me even knowing, you know, since I was born, my whole life knowing, it took me a long time to accept that it was true. You know, I had all the information, I had all the knowledge, I had all that I needed, but it took me a long time to accept that it was true. You know, Most High had to really show me in ways that they honestly didn't want to, and I understand why, but they had to wake me up, and so here I am, and hopefully I could help with that too. I know sometimes I stutter and I sound like a fool, but a lot of God's chosen are like that because you've got to be able to see through the bullshit. You got to see through the crap, you got to be able to see through the dark to find the light and then be that light and shine to illuminate, that's what we're doing here. And so I'll pull some cards here and we'll have to see what they have to say, right? But I want to say thank you to Most High. I really appreciate everything that the Most High does in my life, that they bring into our lives, that they offer us so that we have a higher understanding of what's going on. I thank you, Most High, for giving me a tongue that's sharp like a sword, man. And I thank you for selecting me as an individual who you could use in the manner of a sword. And I appreciate the way you swing me hard, and some people don't want to hear what you have to say, but you made me sharp with a tip that's like a razor blade, man. And when we pierce through armor, when you swing my sword, we get through that armor and we change the hearts of people so that they understand more of the light, and understand that they have that light in you and that they're a warrior for you too, So I ask that you bring in some messages here today and share some insight and some knowledge with us and make those messages come in true and accurate, and protect me from any of this low line shit that's all around us nowadays, man, because it's dirty out here on these streets, It's filthy, man. Even out here hidden in your jungle, I still feel it, and it's bad, man. And we want to change that shit, So I thank you for protecting little guy. He's looking really good lately, honestly, Spirit. Thank you. He's looking great, man. He's been taking a lot out here. There's been a big struggle out here spiritually, and so, but we've been clearing that air and you've been helping us in a big part of that. So, I love you to pieces, God. I love you so much, man. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And, always and forever, always have been, and so, thank you. So Spirit, what we got here? We get some information on these coins here, Spirit. Let's hear about these people over here at these raising this false flag. Okay. Do one more on that one. There's 8 of Cups. One more on that, Spirit. One more, please. Do it one more, Spirit. Do it one more on there, Spirit, please. Not that one, they say. Well, Spirit's saying, with this Jack of Hearts out here, that's that could be a good energy. That could be an energy that's a person that's just young, maybe a little bit immature with their emotions, but still genuine and loving. They could be a person that has good intuition. They could be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. They could be delivering a message of love, But with this 8 of Cups here, that's telling me that this Jack right here is actually getting on their horse with the only cup they have, right? And they're going to ride away from these 8 cups right here, because those 8 cups are God's love. That's the 8 cups that we're all born with, man. Those are the 8 cups that Jack right there, that they always have had, for all of eternity, because that's the way God works. God gives us a lot of cups to work with. It's just that this world wants to take them away from us, And there's a lot of individuals out here who are using their power and their black magic with this fire right here in order to do that. That's what these individuals are raising this false flag about, And so they're raising that false flag because they're trying to attract this Jack away from the love that God gives them. Away from the freedom that God has already given them, and God gives them so much freedom that they have that free will that they can choose to walk away from those 8 cups, and that Jack, it obviously that Jack, something's not right because that Jack wants to hold their cup close to themselves, they want to see the only cup they have is the one that they hold, in their heart. They don't want to see that God already gave them 8 cups to work with, and so they're easily tempted by these individuals over here when they see that flag rising, They think that's a flag of love. They think that flag right there is going to complete them, give them this 2 cups, and they can come back to the cups that God gave them and have 10 cups, but it don't work that way. It just don't work that way. And these individuals over here, they know that. They really know that. They're masters of this shit. They've been fucking with people's brains over here at this moon energy for a long time, man. Long time, And so they've really got it dialed in. They know what they're doing, They know what they're doing. And that's what this Jack doesn't understand, because that Jack's young, they're immature, and that Jack has had to isolate themselves. That's why they only have one cup, and then if they could just see that these 8 cups that God already had given them was their cups, and that they should never walk away from them, then the maturity would be there for this individual to understand why they got to resist that false flag, man. Well, Spirit, thank you. Yeah, see, this is a young Earth sign. This could be this is a Jack of Pentacles. See, this Jack of Pentacles says that this individual is aware of this. Honestly, that they do know this, and so they're having a disagreement with inside themselves. Because the Jack of Pentacles is very practical too. It's the slowest moving energy in the deck. Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, but generally Taurus. But it because of the slowness, the bull is slow, but it slow is not slow like that. The bull just takes their time, And this individual, though, with being in that energy of the Earth, is very practical. They're wise, for a young individual, they're wise, and they get the job done, they do. Like, it might take them a minute or two to get where they need to get, where they need to go, or to see what they need to see. But when they do, when they finally see it, they stick with that, they're steadfast on that. It could also be a very stubborn energy as well, but with this Jack of Hearts, this Jack of Hearts here, they're trying to think with their emotions, see? And the Earth is not not emotional like that, like water is, And see, the thing is with this water here in the shell, this Jack's water, the Jack of Hearts water right now is in turmoil, they're having a hard time understanding their own emotion, And so this Jack of Pentacles coming out here next to the fire right here tells me that this individual has got Earth. They're Earth. They're an Earth angel too, because they have that fire in them as well. That means that they got magic. That. So there's fire in their chart. But I think they're lacking water because the water came out upside down. They got air for sure. And air for sure here. With this divine feminine, with this divine or this Earth angel feminine energy in the reverse like this with the eagle on the top of it right there, that's air for sure too, And so there's a lot of air, with the spirit here in the eagle is air as well. And so this Jack of Pentacles right here is trying to figure out the lies, that the lies that they're trying to deal with in their earthly realm right here, and surrounding a feminine Earth angel as well, So this Jack right here could be a young masculine Earth angel, very possibly. Spirit, create one more on this Jack of Pentacles, please. One more, please, Spirit, on this Jack of Pentacles. Why can't this Jack of Pentacles listen to their heart, Spirit? Why they want to walk away from your 8 cups, Spirit? Ace of Pentacles. This organization over here, with their manipulation and their lies and everything, and their black magic, they're telling this Jack right here and this Jack right here that if they listen to the turmoil that's in their heart, if they listen to the emotions that they don't quite understand and follow their advice and leave these 8 of Cups that God has already given them, they're trying to offer this Jack, Ace of Pentacles, which is a new financial beginning, They're trying to offer them a financial, they're saying that there's a financial reward, but that's just the Ace of Pentacles. And so it's like not really, oh no, sorry, that's the Ace of Swords. Apologies. I always mix up that spade with the pentacle. I don't know why. With the Ace of Swords out here, this Jack is seeking truth, that's good. That Jack is seeking truth. And so that Jack is trying to see through the eyes of this eagle right here, that this earth angel feminine, they're trying to see through them. Maybe it's intuitive, maybe it's even telepathically or whatever, but they're trying to understand what it is that this feminine earth angel right here sees, because she's soaring above the earth, right? She's rose above it, but she is an earth angel still, and so she has earth in her chart, but she sees the lies of the world, she sees the holes in the story, and she knows that with Most High, she's always free, and this is the truth that this Jack is struggling with seeing, like they need to see this truth, and then they'll realize that with this truth, because that's Excalibur, that's the sword of truth, man. That's that Jack right there. When they see this truth, when they realize this truth, they grasp the reality of what this feminine earth angel right here is trying to communicate. When this Jack sees that, he grabs a hold of the hilt of this sword, right? That's stuck in stone currently, because this earth angel right here can't see it. But when they do, and they grab that sword, then they're the one. They're Arthur. They pull that stone out of the sword, right? They sword out of the stone. They're Arthur. They pull it out of there, and they are the king, and they become the king, because they have this one cup right here, right? And that's in their heart, and they have love in their heart because they have a pure heart, no matter what's been done to them, no matter how much struggle they've been through, no matter how much mind control they've had to deal with, no matter how much black magic they've had to deal with. God has helped this individual remain free. And that's why they still have this Jack, but they protect that Jack of Cups fiercely in their heart, that energy. They protect it because they've had to nurture and maintain that against all this attack on their own. They've kept that love alive inside themselves, and that's their love with God. And they know it's real, but these motherfuckers with their false flags are trying their damnedest to get them to not see that. That's why they've made their emotional state so tumultuous. Like they can't trust their own emotions, They're feeling defeated, kind of like I think a lot of people are right now, and so once this Jack of Diamonds, though, grabs the hilt of Excalibur and removes that sword from the stone, that then gets them that other heart. That's the other heart. That's that final heart that they need, that these people are trying to convince them to walk away from the whole shittery when they have everything they need right in front of them. They just gotta realize that they are Arthur, that they are the one who could remove that sword from the stone and see that truth. And then once they see that truth, that reignites the flame of love that they have with God, and then that gives them 10 cups total, man. And then they could never be tempted by them false flags over here, Anything else with this deck here, Spirit? Anything you want to add to that Ace of Swords right there? Anything you want to add? No, try a different deck, huh? Spirit says, do a different deck. This having to face the truth that surrounds us, and seeing our own personal strengths and our relationship with God the Most High is a battle that we are all facing right now, and this is playing out even on the geopolitical scale, and it really is like there's a reshuffling, like there's a reorganization, there's a the regrouping, and there's going to be a power change, there's going to be exchange of power here, because this is a time when the last shall be first and the first shall be last. And that's what's happening, and that's why these individuals over here are pulling these false flags, because they want us all to feel like we're in choppy water. Like this card's a Six of Swords, but that's a boat that has an individual in it, but with two other individuals. One looks like a woman, but they got a hood up. The person, the gondolier that's running the boat, looks like a man, but you can switch those roles if you choose, because it doesn't matter. It's either way, but they're with the child. And so that card usually in tarot represents moving out of rough waters into safe waters, And so these individuals here at their false flags, they want to convince you that they got the master plan, right? But they're not trying to get you out of rough waters at all. They're trying to actually steal your swords. They're trying to steal your freedom. They're trying to take you and enslave you. You know, they're trying to enslave you and the child that's with you. You know, they're not your friend. You know, but God is telling you that if you get on the boat with God, you let God run that boat, you let God look over them swords, you let God look over you and your child, you know, that God is going to always lead you to freedom, you know, and that's what that card means right there. You know, that because see, we can't trust our government. We can't trust these individuals here, not at all, because they're conspiring with this moon energy. You know, they're in the secret doing black magic and manipulating your head and your brain. You know, manipulating the head and the brain of our government officials is what they're doing, and that's what got this coin sitting over here on the edge, getting ready to fall. You know, because here too, the USA is coming out with this air coin because USA right now is being led by air. Big time. There's a lot of influence with air right now, and it's causing emotional upheaval amongst the people of this nation, you know, and it's all a ploy. It's all an act. People are getting far too emotional about this intellectual aspect of government. Like, you can't get emotional about guys like Elon Musk and Donald Trump ruling us, or Joe Biden or anybody else for that fucking matter. You got to get can't get emotional. You got to get intellectual about that shit. We got to get out and we got to talk about it. We got to use our tongues. We got to use our heads. You know, we can't be getting attacking businesses and like causing terrorism or any kind of shit like that in the streets. That is an overly emotional reaction, man, because that's mind control. That's what they're convincing you to do. They're trying to get in your head. They're trying to make you be angry. They're trying to make you be depressed. They're trying to make you be sad. They're trying to make you feel broken and all that shit with their wands over here, with their fire, you know? And so God's trying to show everybody with these 6 swords right here that there is an intellectual way out of this stormy waters and to freedom, man. You know, and we got to start listening to these divine earth angels out here. We got to start listening to these especially the feminine energies, because they're intuitive. They have the ability to see exactly what is going on. They're soaring above the world, man. This is Earth, and that somebody's got a big hole in their story, you know. So Earth is being ran by these individuals right here and their air energy with big holes in their stories, man. It's shot right through with this bullet right here. You know, and so that means that there are evil ways of manipulating us, lying to us, propaganding against us, advertising on us, selling us trash, selling us disease, poisoning us, and then selling us poisons to solve the supposed health issues that was caused by the supposed poison that they sold us as supposed nurturing stuff prior to us getting sick, because they're crooks, you know? And it's just what it is, you know? It's like, you know, Spirit tells the truth. Spirit chooses these cards. Spirit chooses these coins, man. Spirit's just telling me what to tell you. And that's what Spirit keeps telling us. The world is a very dangerous place right now. There's too much air, right? And when you add air and to emotion, because people are taking this shit far too emotionally, and you add all that air and all that emotion, you get rough seas, man. We get rough seas, you know? And that's what God's trying to get us out of. Spirit, what we got here too? That's dandelion in reverse. And so that six of swords is honestly, it's in the reverse, landing on this individual right here, landing on this group right here, because these people do not want to see you in safe waters. They don't want to see you arrive to your safe destination. They don't want to see you prosper. They don't want to see your babies be safe. You know, they don't want to see. They want to see you hide your head in shame like that and let them run your boat. That's what they want. Spirit, what else we got here? What else we got here? Okay. So Spirit says, yeah, this Jack of Pentacles comes out again here. See, this is the Jack of Pentacles, right? And so this Jack of Pentacles comes out again, but with the Eight of Wands, you know, because that energy right there, that Eight of Wands is representing this Jack of Pentacles magic that they were born with, you know, because like, and it's what the Most High is requesting them to draw on right now, because they got to draw on their internal strengths. They got to draw on that fire inside, because the intellectual, their swords and all that, it's been fucked with, you know. They can't trust their own intellect right now, because they can't trust their own head right now, because the lies they've been told are seeming to be very difficult for them to see, you know, like they're struggling with the emotion so like their emotions are in so much turmoil because they see both sides that are being told to them, but they have a loyalty still tied to these individuals right here who have been manipulating them and controlling them, and have them trapped with this mind control, with these negative thoughts, with these negative advice, with temptation, with all these lures that they use to get you away from Most High and the freedom that they offer, And so Spirit is saying to this Jack of Pentacles right here that, and even though this individual again is coming out as a Jack, so they're not a page, so they're not a baby, they're not a child anymore. They're an adult now, but they're still new, like just starting their mission. Really, they're just starting it. But God's trying to tell them that the reason that they're starting on their mission is because they have these Eight of Cups, that God gave them these Eight of Cups. They have these Eight of Wands right here. And so they're pretty well loaded. I mean, they're not a child by any means. They got 8 wands, they got 8 cups. And so they just don't see that in themselves, They keep seeing themselves as a Jack of Pentacles, as a Jack of Hearts, which means they only got one pentacle, they only got one cup, And so, but that's not what Most High is saying. Most High is saying, nah, you got what you need to take action. You have the wands. Those are your 8 wands, Don't let them and their false flags convince you that your story has holes in it, because it don't, man. And this feminine energy right here, this feminine earth angel, she's with God. She sees that too, She sees that in all individuals that are with God, because God gave her the power to see that, to see right through this hole right here. She picks that thing up. She looks right through that hole and sees to the other side, man, because she's the one that is behind that gun that shot that bullet. She's trying to bring this all down, man. She's trying to show everybody there is a hole in their story. That's what she's trying to do. Most High. Get another one on this 8 of Wands here, Most High. 2 wands, see? Most High says that this Jack right here, this Jack of Pentacles. Oh man, I keep calling that a pinnacle. That's a sword, Jack of Swords. Man, it's coming out now. Okay, Jack of Swords. Fuck. We got. Yeah, but still, the truth is that this Jack of Pentacles, it's got these 8 wands. They just got to see it. That they need to see that truth. They need to see this. They need to realize that sword there is Excalibur. That they're not just a Jack. They're not just any old Jack of swords, because everybody might think that they're intellectually a little bit small. They be backed in the corner to thinking that they're just one of the ranks, that they ain't a leader, they don't got no power, they don't got no strength, they don't got no way to lead or to really step up or to get their truth heard. They're afraid to express their truth because they're still a Jack. They don't know that everybody's going to really listen to them. They're just a knight, they're not a king. And that's what these individuals right here are trying to convince them of with this mind control, because they're scared that when this Jack right here grabs a hold of that sword, see, they already are the Jack of Hearts, they're the Jack of Diamonds, and they're the Jack of Spades. Well, when that sword, or Jack of Fire, or Jack of Spades, with that sword of truth, with that Excalibur, that's going to give them a lot of power. They're starting to become somebody who is about ready to become a king, because they're mastering all those elements in their Jack energy and their Knight energy. And that's why that 2 of Wands is coming out, because the Most High is saying that when you see this truth, then this truth will give you the 2 of Wands to that 8, and you're going to have 8 wands now. You have all the magic, or 10 wands now. You have all the magic. And so this individual, when you gain all the magic right there, because you just need that 1 wand, you need that Jack of Wands to come out here, and you're going to be the king, and you're going to be the king of you'll come out as a king of fire, and so you got the 10 wands. The next is that you get that Jack, and then you're the king of fire, right? Here you got and when you now that you have these 10 wands, you have all the magic in you to understand love, to understand loving yourself. You see yourself as a powerful individual, as a powerful wizard, as a powerful manifester, as a powerful magician. You see yourself as that high priest or that high priestess energy, because you understand you have all the magic. With these eight wands, you have all the magic, And like, if you just keep these 8 cups right here that God's given you, and you got this 1 cup right here because that Jack's out here, well, God's offering you that last cup. And that's self-love. because you know you're the shit, you know you can carry your load, you know you can carry your burden, you know that you're worth it, you know that the world is your oyster, that you don't have to fear setting the globe down and pick up another one if that's what you have to do to go out and kick ass. But either way, the world is your oyster because you got all 10 wands, you know, you're the magician. And that has these motherfuckers right here. That has them standing up and sleeping at night, man. That has them worried, you know, because they know with these 8 wands that this fire coin right here represents you becoming a king, you know, and that's your next step towards ascension and gaining all the power that God offers you. And that's got them worried, man. They don't like that. What else we got here? What else? What we got here? We got primrose, aloe vera, raspberry, dandelion, goldenrod. Yeah, so that sword's goldenrod, man. That sword's Excalibur. It's got God's golden truth, man. It'll cut right through everything, you know. That's what that is right there. Let's get a little tarot on here. Now I'm going to go plant garden. It's going to be 80 degrees today. It's absolutely gorgeous outside. I'm very excited. I always have been. I mean, every time I get an opportunity to work in the garden, man, I love that shit. But yeah, try to get a lot of seed in today. Tomorrow it's going to rain in the evening, and then we got a lot of rain coming in next week. You know, it's going to rain looks like 5 or 6 inches or so, you know, and so I might not get a chance to get out there and really do a lot of soil work like that and everything, you know, but take full advantage of today, you know, because it's beautiful out there. Spirit, get a little tarot on this, please. How you doing today, Spirit? Yeah? Spirit says they're doing really good. Spirit says they love the weather too. Spirit says they love watching everybody work in the garden. That's why they made us, you know? That's what Spirit says. Spirit says they love all y'all too, you know? They hope you're listening. And so this 2 of wands, you know, see that's when you get these wands all together right here. That's when those ships come sailing in. That's when our ships come sailing in, you know. That's when our ships come home because we need to be focusing more on what we have going on here domestically and get away from this situation where we're trying to control the world with manipulation and with our money, you know, with our false sense of abundance, our false money, like our advertising machine, man. Like it's what it is. We're selling lies, you know. Selling lies and working for the beast over here. And God knows that's the truth. And God wants to set us free from that. And so that's why these ships, they need to come home, you know. We all need to be focusing on our own self, you know. You look inside yourself and realize that those ships, if they set sail, that's part of you that's leaving, that we want them to come in and stay in our harbor because we got to be whole, you know. That's what we're all working towards. That's what this read is about. That's how we become the Empress, you know. And that's what it is, man. That's 2 3s right there. That's what it is, man. It's time for the Empress to rise, you know. That Empress is the one that's sitting over here with these wings spread. She's flying over the world and she sees the holes in their stories, man. Because she's the one that has them wisdom. She has the bullets of wisdom inside of her because she's done that internal work, you know. And so she's got them bullets and she's got to shoot holes through every single one of their stories because she's sick of watching everybody get poisoned by their bullshit, you know. She operates out of all elements, you know, and so as a ruler, as a queen, as a king, this Empress energy, she doesn't just operate from one element of air. She doesn't just operate from one element of water. She operates from all 4. And so there's a little land to break up the air so it doesn't blow as hard on the water, doesn't make the water all too rough and everything. And then we get, when we get a little bit of rain, there's enough fire out there at the sun to dry shit out, you know. And so it doesn't get all crazy like it is today, man. And that's the way that the Empress operates. You know, the Empress is who could stand against these individuals over here and their false flags. And that's why she's here now, you know. That's why she showed up. That's why she showed up, you know, because she's here to bring justice, man. Bottom of the day. And that's just what it is, you know. That's why she's showing up right here on God's lap, too, you know. She's showing up right there with Most High because Most High is... never leaves her in that 4 cups healing, you know? Never. She always sees the truth that Most High is offering, you know? She's never confused by the cups that the world are trying to offer. She's never confused by what these people are trying to do inside her, anybody's head. She sees right through their black magic, you know, because she's always paying attention to the cup that God is trying to offer, you know. She could walk away from 1,000 cups to that one cup that God's offering, because she knows damn good and well that God can condense everything that's in those 1,000 cups into just one cup and make it easier for her to carry, you know. And that's why she's the Empress. Yeah, because God will never have her trapped out in the cold, you know. And she knows that. That's how she soars above all the bullshit here. Never confused. She sees everybody else is confused. She sees the confusion of everybody else, you know. But she's so intuitively strong. She's so intuitively powerful. She's got her heart space covered here, and she's got her eyes covered, because she's going to follow her intuition. She's not going to be stupid, you know. And that when she starts to swing, she doesn't even have to remove that blindfold, because those swords are God's swords of truth, you know. And she's got 2 Excaliburs, and she's in that intuitive moon energy, right? With the moon up here and the water behind her. And so when she sets loose, you know, she's gonna level the playing field, because these swords are air, and that's water there too. But that water is calm, you see, because she is gonna take the sword that this air right here represents, that's now controlling our government. You know, there's 2 swords that are controlling our government right now. There's 2 powerful air influences that are influencing a lot of people to be confused, you know, causing the water to be really stirred up, really tumultuous, you know. And this Empress right here, she's gonna take those swords, and then when she starts to swing, she's not gonna remove that blindfold. She's gonna swing where her intuition tells her to swing, and she's gonna cut through all the bullshit, man. And that's what's coming, you know. That's what God has ordained, you know. That's what God is saying. That's what's gonna happen, because she has the power to see through the bullshit, man. God has opened her eyes. That blindfold, it's not a blindfold. That's God's love, man. That's God's love wrapped around her eyes, so that she's not confused by what she does see, and that she only hears what God says, you know, and she follows the leadership of the Most High. And so she has a pure heart, you know, and that's why she has that heart space protected. She's here for everybody, you know. Yeah, she's here to do God's work. You know, and she could be you. This could be you. There's more than one of her, you know. She could be he could be she, you know, and hopefully there's legion of us. That's what I say, you know, because we need to control the intellectual direction of things. You know, we need to control the way that we're being convinced to see things by our government and the people that lead it, you know, because in reality, they're not leading us to safety, you know, they're leading us to possible destruction, you know, and very tumultuous water, because they're working for these people over here raising these false flags in order to control your mind. And that's what they're trying to do. That's heads up, but that's flesh and the fantasy in the flesh, you know, fantasy in the flesh. It means that your whole life is bullshit. That's what that means, man. That everything that they're telling you about your life is bullshit. What do you think about that, Spirit? Is they telling us that everything in our life bullshit? Huh? These motherfuckers, man. Is just like this bottle of Coca-Cola over here. Nothing in it. They tell you need it to this and that. Oh, there's all this celebration. All they're doing is rotting your teeth out and giving you diabetes. Don't you think that's bullshit, Spirit? What do you think, you know? Spirit says, Shesho Shesh not no Noehe is my high priestess. That's what Spirit says, you know. And so Spirit says that, no, it ain't bullshit. Spirit says, Shesh Shesh not no Noehe, you know the truth. You speak the truth. You ain't scared. They say, you know this, Empress. That's what they say very well, you know. And so this high priestess energy very well could be you too. And so that means if you think that shit's going on around you, Spirit's telling you, you need to trust what you know in your heart, because you're the high priestess and you're in that Empress energy right there, you know. And that's what Spirit's saying, you know. Spirit speaking to a Knight of Pentacles. Energy came out twice now. Slowest moving energy in the deck, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, you know, generally Taurus. They need to turn this 4 of cups on its upside down. You know, that energy on my cards usually comes out always with that 4 of cups. So that 4 of cups in the upright position, you know, which is Taurian energy, very much so. What else we got on this Knight of Pentacles, Spirit? What else we got here, Spirit? Why is this Taurus energy right here in this Nine of Pentacles being slow, taking their time so long to see what you want them to see about what they need to be working towards in your name, Spirit? What's the influence then, Spirit? What's the influence that this conspirators over here, these people with these false flags, these liars, you know, these mind controllers, you know, this cult, this secret shadow government individuals. What do they got to say to this Nine of Pentacles? What are they offering here that slows this Pentacle down to this Nine of Pentacles so they don't listen to this High Priestess energy? What we got, Spirit? What we got, Spirit? Nothing, huh? I think that this Nine of Pentacles energy has had a hard time seeing what Spirit is trying to get them to see, you know, and I think that that's changing, though. I do. I think that this individual is starting to see that this Empress energy and this High Priestess energy, that what they didn't see before, which is that their ships are sailing in, you know, like I think that they've seen this High Priestess energy and from this perspective over here of this Two of Swords, and so they weren't getting a clear objective or a clear understanding of what it is that this High Priestess energy and this Empress energy have been working towards with Most High. And I think that that's caused this individual right here to kind of have their heads in the sand and be easily swayed by the controllers, you know. Got a message here. What we got here, Spirit? Finish this up. Yeah, see, they haven't been able to trust their intuition because these people are operating out of the moon, you know. They're operating on that moon energy with black magic and mind control. And so this individual right here has had their intuition toxified by the mind control tactics, you know. And so they're very confused, you know, just like a lot of people now are being very confused also by the intellectual or the error in the intellectual aspect of our government, the way that our government operates. You know, nobody seems to really understand that shit intellectually anymore. And that's why we got so much turmoil, man. As the moon affects the water, you know, it could raise tides, it could lower tides. Right now, it's just causing everything to be a mess, you know. A lot of lies. There's a lot of lying going on, you know. A lot of air, a lot of swords, a lot of lying, a lot of black magic, a lot of wands right now in the energy. You know, you can see a lot of wands. A lot of air, a lot of fire, a little bit of earth, you know. Spirit, what else we got on this moon? We got one more. I'm gonna close this thing up. Yeah. King of Swords in the reverse. These motherfuckers right here, man, are causing a lot of grief out here in this here world, you know. That energy is a piece of shit. King of Pentacles with that Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, you know. This Queen of Pentacles, she knows what's going on. You know, the Queen of Pentacles is a nurturer. She's a lover. She's also very practical. She's abundant. You know, she's got wisdom. She's the last queen. You know, she's the last queen energy in the deck before you go to the Empress. You know, and so this queen right here, she has a good understanding of the other three elements. She's able to look. She's able to use her magic. She's able to use her water, her emotions, and she's able to use her intellect. She's very intellectual, you know, and that's how she is able to understand abundance. That's why she's the Queen of Pentacles, and on her way to become, as soon as she acquires her abundance and her King of Pentacles, that's when they both become the Emperor and the Empress energy, you know. They become the highest energies in the deck. And so she's like right there, you know. She's powerful. She knows what's up. But she's been dealing with this Nine of Pentacles energy because that's the third time now that this Nine of Pentacles has come out in this read. But this time they're in the reverse, you know, because there is lies and deceit and wickedness. You see these three cards, they all come out in the reverse, and the Queen of Pentacles right here is the only one in the upright, right? Because she is also the one in this High Priestess and this Empress energy right here. And she's looking over here in this direction towards her High Priestess and her Empress energy, because she is really trying to understand intuitively what is going on with this situation, because she knows that the intuition of everybody else has been turned on its head because of the manipulation of these motherfuckers over here, because they're mind control, because they're black magic. The King of Swords energy in the reverse, this is the energy that is running this outfit right here. This is the energy that is the air that's running the U.S. right now, that's causing everything to be in turmoil. This energy right here is air. It's King of Swords, you know. But this dude, as you can see, that sword looks a little bit too big for him to even wield, you know, because they're just all ego. They want you to believe that there's something that they're not, and they're liars, you know, and they're cold-hearted and like that, you know. In the upright, that's an honest, fair, just king, you know, and they're they get shit done, you know, and they're good, you know, they're good, honest, but they can still be cold, but they're honest, you know, and they're just, they're fair, you know. And it could be like this card represents senators, governors, leading officials, you know, judges. It's like that kind of individual, you know. But this individual is a crooked one. This is a sick fuck, crooked one. Aquarius energy in the reverse, you know, arrogant, sick fuck. Child abusing, you know, this person most likely in this energy in the reverse, that's a pedophile. That's why they got their little thing up there trying to show some leg and shit, because they got kids out in front of them that they want to touch, they want to do nasty shit to, and they want to manipulate and break off and turn their energy in the reverse, like they've done with this Nine of Pentacles right here, you know. And so they're trying to stop this individual from becoming the King of Pentacles that they're on their journey to become, so that they could have a union with their Queen of Pentacles and then become the counterpart of this Empress right here. You know, they could get their Emperor energy. But this son of a bitch right here with their little sword in their hand like that, they've damaged this Nine of Pentacles, and they broke their intuition, and so now they control them like a slave. You know, energetically speaking, and that's how they do this shit. That's how these motherfuckers operate, because they worship the devil. And they're working for Satan, you know? And so they manipulate and damage us when we're young. You know, this Knight of Pentacles was most likely damaged before they grew up, when they were a Page of Pentacles. This individual right here took advantage of them. And that's why they're all coming out in the reverse right now, hiding behind this moon over here, you see? They're hiding behind the fact that you don't know your intuition. They're trying to tell you, Queen of Pentacles, you don't know your intuition. Well, hey, they fucking way the fuck off on that one, man. Because this Queen of Pentacles is this Empress and this High Priestess energy all in one. You see what I'm saying? So she's a we, not a he or a she. She's a we, you know? And we intend to kick ass, and that's the way it goes, you know? And so this King of Swords right here is going to go to hell for what they've done to this Knight of Pentacles right here, because they've created, see this Knight of Pentacles right here is in the upright, right? And then this son of a bitch right here got them to not trust their intuition, so that they could do something to them. They could take advantage of them for their own advantage, for their own gain, and to make them feel powerful, make them feel like they got the might in them to swing that fucking sword, and they don't. They're just a weak-ass chomo piece of shit, man. And so now they've taken this upright knight right here, who this High Priestess held close to her, that this Empress held close to her. They took that knight and they turned that knight upside down now, because they're fucking with their head, man. That's what it is, you know? And so we got to clean this shit up, you know? We all need to be paying attention, because this stuff's really happening, you know? And so hopefully it makes sense, you know? And if it does, like, comment, subscribe. I'll bring you the next time I come back, but I'm going to go work in the garden today. I'll probably post some shorts or whatever I always do. And I hope everybody has a fabulous day, a wonderful day, you know, and I hope that that if anything, I could guide you to trust your intuition, you know. Freedom is we are all free only when individual freedom is expressed personally by the individual, you know, and we have to see that in each other. We can't all think the same, man. That's not going to work, you know. We gotta really express our diversity and receive and respect the diversity that others express to us, man. And so, my spirit loves your spirit, and we're here together, we all are. And so, if you could watch my nonsense, and maybe you'll see that like, hey, this guy's out here is like stuttering fool or whatever, and then maybe you'll hear something in that though, and then maybe you got a powerful message inside of you, and having these conversations with me and listening to me read and all that stuff, maybe that can inspire that in you, like hopefully I could spark that fire that you got inside, and you too will vocalize these things that are hard to get out there, hard to get out and vocalize, because there is shadow banning, there is you gotta get past people's intellect nowadays, because people are been really put in a pocket of being dumbed down. I mean, so people don't want to think about shit, but what we can get them to think about shit. We just gotta be willing to be the thinker that's willing to use their tongue, and that's what God's asking me to do, to wake up individuals if I can, and I can't do shit, God does it all through me. And so if you see God's light shining for me, and that inspires inside of you something that is God's light, then let it shine, and know you did that for yourself. I didn't do jack shit for you, man. God found you and you followed, and that's just what we're supposed to do. That's what it is. That's how we do it, man. You don't just got to eat innards, you just got to use your tongue, speak truth, man. But I love us all, I love you all, and I hope best that even the ones with the most wickedness in their heart, like I know that God can heal all things. God can heal all broke, God can heal all wounds and make everything better, and so there's some shit nowadays that's fucking, man, God's very powerful to forgive some of that stuff, maybe they won't, I don't know, I'm not God, but I do know that I pray to be in the presence of and in the worship of a merciful God, a God that teaches, and a God that is creative and kind, and loving and abundant and prosperous, and that kindness, that love, that abundance, that prosperity is offered up to all things in God's creation. Everything that God created is going to be protected by that, and that's even the wicked, because God teaches us all lessons in different ways, man. I think it's just that we ain't following God's example of what it is to be a teacher nowadays. And we, each and every one of us, have that ability. We have that power, to teach, because we're made in the image of our Father and made in the image of our Mother, And so get out there and speak, no matter what it is, no matter what the truth is that you got to get out there. If my light can inspire your light to shine brightly, then I'm going to stand there and watch that light shine. I'm going to be fucking happy about that, man. And I'm going to give God all the credit, because that's who deserves all the credit. So, no way, hey. Yeah. I ain't fucking around out here, man. I really ain't. So, we can heal this shit. We can heal it in spirit. And God's going to be there for us. Love y'all.